the majority of people that are watching your stories and watching your social media and watching your YouTube videos and you gotta understand, the majority of these people are really watching, not in support, but really watching because they want front row seats when you fail. I'm gonna tell you, I know y'all think I'm lying. I know you think that the 1,000 people that follow you on TikTok, I know that you think that all 1,000 of them want to see you win. But only about 12 of them are really rooting for you. And to be honest, the 12 that are rooting for you are probably people you've never met. Outside of your mama, outside of your brother, outside of your sister, outside of that, man, the far majority of people that seem to be rooting you on, but they don't want to see you win. They don't want to see you win because you're winning. Again, I'm still speaking on why you got to move in the dark. Because if you're winning, all you're doing is shining light on how they could have moved. Hey, these brothers. The other day I made a video and I said that if you don't do that thing in 2026, like, you're not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's been talking about making a move since they've understood that a move has to be made. Which around 2020, everybody understood that the world isn't what they thought it was. And everybody says, hey, I gotta make a certain kind of move for myself. And the other day I said, hey, you know what? We've had all these years, and if you don't do it by 2026, like, you're not going to do it, right? And I stand on that, right? But what I didn't share, man, is that if you're going to do it, you're going to have to do it in the dark. I'm gonna say it again, man. I need y'all to really digest this. And when I say really digest this is normally power circle talk. This conversation I'm about to have with y'all now, man, is a smidget of what my call is gonna be about, or our call is gonna be about later tonight, depending on when you see this video. You're gonna have to do this shit in the dark, bro. You're gonna have to do it in the dark. What do you mean do it in the dark, soul? What I mean is, first off, you gotta do it when everybody else is still talking about it. Like, everybody's scared to move in the dark. Everybody's always waiting on the perfect time to move. Oh, my camera's all jacked up. Everybody's always waiting on the perfect time to move. You're gonna have to do it. You're gonna have to do it when everybody else is standing still. And what I mean is, everybody is always waiting on the tax return check to come. Everybody's always waiting on the kids to graduate from school. Everybody's always waiting on Trump to send this $2,000 check or whatever is going on with that. Everybody's always waiting on the job to give the bonus, or any other scenarios that make people think that the time is right. You're going to have to make your move in the dark. You're going to have to be on your Harriet Tubman type shit, is what I'm saying. You gotta move. You gotta move when it seems like, man, now it's not the right time. Money is looking kind of fun. Everything is kind of jacked up. But I gotta move now. I gotta move when everybody else is sleeping. You gotta move before you think the time is right. Which means as soon as that idea hits you, which means as soon as the intuition and the guidance and all that good stuff hits you on how to move, as soon as you receive your marching orders, as I always say, you got to get on the road. You got to get on the road then. It's kind of like back in the military, man. You might be asleep 0 dark 30 like it is right now. It's probably 3 o'clock. I don't even know. I don't know what time. It might be 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. When I woke up and had this idea, I didn't really look at the clock. I just got up and started walking and started talking. I didn't say, oh man, well, it'd be better when it's sunlight. It'd be better, man, when I can make some notes and do all this stuff. You gotta know and learn when to move when it's dark outside, bro. That's what I'm saying. You gotta learn to move in the dark, man. This is the only way you can really get to that point. You know what I'm saying? It's moving when everybody It's moving, and when I say moving in the dark, it's gonna get to a point where when you finally get up and everybody's looking around, they're gonna say, well, where did Joe Blow go? Where did Sister Mary Sue go to? Where did Soul go to? Where did Joseph go to? They're gonna be like, they gone. Everybody's gonna still be talking about it. You're gonna be moving, man. So that's what I'm saying, man. You gotta learn to move in the dark. Move as soon as you get those marching orders, man. Move before you really have it all figured out, man. And then when people wake up in the morning and they see you gone and they texting you and they calling you and they trying to see what kind of play you've called or what you really have doing. This is another part I mean by moving in the dark. You can't be letting everybody know what you're doing, right? You can't be letting everybody know what you're doing. What do you mean by that, Soul? Meaning, of course, a lot of people are gonna know what moves you're making sometime. If you're trying to move to a different company, if you're trying to move to a different country, if you're trying to lose weight, now you're at the gym, if you're trying to learn a new skill in trade and you're going to college, a lot of people are gonna see on surface level what you're doing, but you can't let them know how you're doing it. And I say this all the time, man. Well, I don't say this all the time. I said it in a singular truth, right? I say you can never really reveal what you can never really reveal on how source is telling you to move, man. Because when you do that, you're giving too much access to that sacred space. When people get out of your business and they say, oh, what you doing, man? Yeah, you can tell them, yeah, man, I'm going to college, man. I'm finna get this degree in cybersecurity. I'm about to lose 20 pounds. Yeah, that's why you see me going to the gym. But when they start asking all these questions, man, what they're really wanting is your source code. You can never give them your source code. So when people are asking you all these questions and trying to triangulate what the way you're thinking and the way you're moving, that's what I'm saying. You got to move in the dark, bro. You got to move like a supreme being, man, to get to where you're trying to get to. And I'm speaking to myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm not speaking as a man that's mastered this, because if you're still breathing and living and blinking your eyes on this planet, you haven't mastered this. You got to move like a supreme being, which means you got to move like, okay, you know what? I've shown the universe that I got the gonads to move in the dark. I gotta have the knowledge to keep this God essence to myself. You know what I'm saying? So move. You got to learn to move in the dark, bro. Learn to move in the dark, man. I got to run into 7-Eleven before I forget. I'll mess around and go back and forget that I've been trying to go to this thing 2 or 3 times today and keep forgetting. Learn to move in the dark. It's been a long time since I've seen it. But if you watch the movie Harriet, how do I get her? You'll understand what I'm saying. I think everything she did was at nighttime. You know what I'm saying? Everything she did was calculated. Everything she did, man, was with her. You know, she didn't just go out and start spreading all this information and knowledge on how she was gonna move. She just did the dang thing, man. Yeah, the majority of people that are watching your stories and watching your social media and watching your YouTube videos and you gotta understand, the majority of these people are really watching, not in support, but really watching because they want front row seats when you fail. I'm gonna tell you, I know y'all think I'm lying. I know you think that the 1,000 people that follow you on TikTok, I know that you think that all 1,000 of them want to see you win. But only about 12 of them are really rooting for you. And to be honest, the 12 that are rooting for you are probably people you've never met. Outside of your mama, outside of your brother, outside of your sister, you know, outside of that, man, the far majority of people that seem to be rooting you on, but they don't want to see you win. They don't want to see you win because you're winning. Again, I'm still speaking on why you got to move in the dark. Because if you're winning, all you're doing is shining light on how they could have moved. All you're doing is exposing themselves to themselves. So now they don't want to see you win, man. So you don't want to be sharing intel with them, because if you share, think about this. And this is some Marvel superhero type shit. If Superman goes around telling everybody his strength, or Batman or anybody else goes around telling them how, their source code, now people can figure out the antidote, or whatever word, on what it takes to bring them down. If Superman reveals his power, he's also revealing his kryptonite. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it again for the people in the back. If Superman reveals to you his superpower, his source code, he's also revealing his kryptonite. So man, be very careful on people are gonna know your moves. Oh, so you getting ready to move overseas? Oh, brother Joe, you getting ready to start a club? You getting ready to? Oh yeah. That's all they need to know. If they find out then, they need to find out when the door's open. But if they find out because they see you building, they see you building. Never give them the source code. Never allow them access. Right? So that's what I mean by move in the dark. Another part about moving in the dark, man, is when I say move in the dark, what I mean rather is you have to, I'm trying to think how I want to say this, man. You have to move. When I say move in the dark, going back to Harriet, man, that's just you have to move in the dark, but acting as if you're moving in light. Maybe that ain't how I want to say it. I'll say it like this. You have to move in the dark while knowing that God is your light. That's how I really want to say it. You have to move in the dark while knowing that God is your light. You have to move through these city streets having no clue where you're going. You gotta move through the streets of your journey having no clue where you're going, but having the confidence that, you know what, I understand that I'm right where I need to be. I understand these trials and tribulations that I'm going through on these city streets are part of what I'm supposed to be going through, because I'm walking with the light of lights. I'm walking hand in hand. I'm walking in step with God. So when I say move in the dark, man, you gotta move in a situation where most people are gonna be moving in fear. Most people are gonna be moving in ignorance. You gotta move in that dark spot, man, like you know you're supposed to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like I look around where I'm at right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? Over here, man, like this is the dark, and this is a dark area. When I say dark area, I mean this is an area, man, that's foreign to me. 99.9% of the people don't speak English, man. But this is where I'm supposed to be right here, man. And I love it, man. I move as if I'm a local, man. And every day I do that, God shows his face. He's saying you're listening. You're somebody that's not scared to move in the dark. If I tell you tomorrow morning, wake up and move to Zimbabwe, you're going to do it. You know what I'm saying? And since I move like that, since I'm not scared to walk in the dark, since I'm not scared to walk amongst the land that I'm not familiar with, you know what I'm saying? Since I'm not afraid to put myself in what most people will call uncomfortable situations, man, to advance in life, God puts me places, man. God grants me opportunities. I get blessings that some people say, man, how did he do that? Why is his life always a blessing, man? You gotta, and when I say move in the dark on this part, man, as if God, or knowing that God is your light, I'm simply talking about walking in faith. I'm simply talking about walking in faith. and I'm sitting there talking about me, but I'm talking about you. Like there are some people, man, like the brother I just got on the phone with earlier, man, my brother, not a brother, my brother, man. You know, he's making big moves, man. He was talking about his last move. He was like, you know what? I understand this last move I made. Like, it was kind of this, it was kind of that. It was a blessing, but I understand now why I had to go there, because where I'm at now, it wouldn't have made sense. Like I wouldn't be able to see this new land if I wouldn't have visited the other land first. So it's like, man, you gotta learn to move in faith, man. You gotta learn to move in faith, brother. It's everything. It's one thing to talk about it, huh? It's one thing to quit walk on church pews and sing slave narratives and talk about faith, but to move in it, to walk on it, man, we talking about two different things, bro. We talking about two different sports, huh? And most people that walk on it rarely really talk about it. There's no sense of really talking about faith if you see me demonstrating it. Huh? I ain't gotta sit there and talk about God all the time if you see me walking hand in hand with that source. Oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm rambling. It's 3. I'm rambling. But the last thing I want to talk about, man, is this. When I say walk in the dark, this is the last part I want to make, man. When I say walk in the dark, you have to learn to explore that dark side of self. You have to learn to explore that dark side of yourself. And I won't say this is the hardest part. I won't say it's the hardest part, but it is a challenge. When I say explore the darkest part of yourself. Because what I mean by that is, like a lot of us as men always try to travel the paths of life as an upstanding, solid Joe, people pleasing, mama's boy, and all these other words, man, where light energy is protruding out of our pores. Well, we're trying to do everything just in the most, in the quote unquote lightest manner, in the quote unquote, you know what I'm saying? Like in this good boy, choir boy type manner. I'm gonna tell you, to get to the other side, man, you gotta learn to move in your darkness. And I'm not finna speak a lot about that moving in that darkness, because it can get complex without a series of other conversations. But the point I will make on moving in that darkness is this. You have to learn to, because see, a lot of times when people are moving in this light energy, first off, they can't say no to nobody. Like a lot of times when people move in this light energy, this people pleasing energy, they try to navigate the paths of life by making everybody happy. In other words, when I get to the finish line, everybody will be smiling. Everybody's life will be better because mine is better. Everybody will be fulfilled. Everybody's hopes and desires will be good and satisfied because I moved in a certain way. You got to forget that, bro. Because that thinking right there will keep you from getting to the finish line. That thinking right there will keep you from getting to the finish line. So you gotta understand this. When I say move in the dark, this last part I'm talking about is you gotta move. A part of you has to be savage. A part of you has to say, hey, you know what? I want everybody to win. I want everybody to win. But if they don't, they don't. Like, my mission has to be priority. I want everybody smiling. But if they're not, they're not. Like everybody's not going to be happy when I get to the finish line because some heads will have to roll before I get there. I'm going to say it again. Let me put this down as I say this. I need y'all to hear me out. You have to say to yourself, before I get to the finish line, Before I get to my land of milk and honey, before I complete my marching orders, before I complete every single task that God told me to make, you know what I'm saying? Every move that God told me to make, there's gonna be a lot of people that are pissed off. It's gonna be a lot of people that are calling you assholes. It's gonna be a lot of people that are saying you're selfish. There are gonna be a lot of heads that roll between A and B or A and Z. There's gonna be a lot of heads that are rolling. There's gonna be a lot of feelings that are hurt. There's gonna be a lot of brothers that are saying, hey man, me and Soul used to be cool, man, but for some reason, I don't mess with them no more. And if you're not comfortable with that, man, that's what I said, man, you gotta be willing to walk in the dark. Huh? You gotta understand that by the time, you gotta understand this. It's January 2026. What you have to understand is by the time the sun comes up, by the time the third week of January, by the time February 15th, March 1st comes through, oh man, you're going to be gone. And as people see you moving, there's going to be a series of things taking place. Oh man, what you got going on? All the things I've been talking about, all those things are going to take place, man. And the majority of people, if they even get the courage to just wake up one day and say, you know what? I hear this voice. I have this inspiration in my heart. I don't know what to do, but I'm moving. It's going to be we're talking about a small percentage of people that are even going to do that. But once you do that, you got to understand what comes with it. And when you move like that, when you move the way I'm saying you got to move, you have to understand that there's really no going back. There's really no going, like if you, and I said this in a singular truth, I said once you cross that threshold and start traveling that path, yes, technically you can go back to your old life, but it won't be the same. The people won't be the same. The scenarios won't be the same. The emotional state, everything will be different because as you move, that old world crumbles. So you're literally going back to a world that's been destroyed, trying to piece it back together. And it's going to be worse off then than it was before you left. You know what I'm saying? So you got to understand when you start traveling this path, man, everything behind you will be different. All your relationships will be different. Some will be better, some will be severed. Some bridges will be burned. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta understand when you make this look like that's part of it. That's part of it, man. So yeah, I just wanted to say that, man, because I said the other day, man, hey, if you don't do it in 2026, you're not going to do it. But I just want to give y'all another nugget. You got to do it in the dark. You got to be on your Harriet Tubman shit, man. You know what I'm saying? So brothers, move in the dark.